You've been watching the Strahan and Sarah show, but we interrupted now to bring you more of our storm mode coverage. This blizzard is no joke. It is here, arriving in downtown Colorado Springs.
I have a device here that actually measures how fast the wind goes, and it's hard for me to even talk. The wind is actually taking my breath away, and we've gotten upwards of 42 on this meter.
The State Patrol is really not letting you leave the city. It seems like visibility down to about 100 feet at times. The winds are making things incredibly problematic. There's been multiple people I've talked to at gas stations that are in tears because they can't get down to Colorado Springs where they need to go to see family, and people seem to be coming to a standstill and just hanging out at gas stations almost because there's nowhere else to go.
So we're seeing blizzard conditions, those blizzard warnings now in effect for El Paso County. This is a look in Monument at Highway 105 and I-25, and just within the last half hour here, we have lost almost all visibility. So it gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. Snow coming down in buckets over Monument Hill. When you combine that with the 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts we're seeing, that is really going to create some serious problems there.
We are hearing of multiple spinouts on the roads, no matter if they're major thoroughfares or side roads. One person caught in that is our own Stephanie Sierra. She had a crash along Fillmore near I-25, unfortunately. She sent us this report. It's very hard to hear her audio simply because of those strong winds. Take a listen.
It is complete whiteout conditions, as you can see. It is so horrible. I myself hit some black ice and slid the Cardio car here off the side of the interstate. As you can see, it was so bad. And the scariest part is you really, as you can see, you just can't see anything at all. But you really can't see the car in front of you, which is what happened to me. It was so dangerous. And cars were swerving around. I was just on the other side on the northbound lanes about 25 minutes ago, and there was a 5-vehicle crash. And some people were injured in that crash. That was right along the Rock Rimmon exit.
We're still holding it down here in Teller County. We're here at Woodland Park. And I'm not up to my chest yet, but with the way the snow keeps coming in, I might be soon. But we wanted to show you just how bad some of these snowdrifts are. We're in the parking lot or here at the gas station. And they came through and plowed the left side of the gas station, but these right lanes, they did not plow it at all. And I just wanted to show you how deep some of these snowdrifts are as my boot completely sinks into it. Now this is some of the dangerous parts that you could be seeing, especially out on the roads with this snow blow and the way it is.
But what we are dealing with here, some pretty powerful wind gusts. I tell you, I walked outside. I am having a hard time standing right now. That's how strong these winds are, and they're coming right out of the north here, but it's blowing the snow in such a way to where it just stings your face.
These are sustained winds, so you'll notice that center of circulation here just east of Prowers County, and so we're getting a counterclockwise speed here, so we're pulling down the cold north winds. Of course, all that change over to snow. Sustained winds 40 to 45 miles per hour. Gust coming in 70, 80, even had a 96-mile-per-hour gust that was confirmed from the National Weather Service office for Colorado Springs. Damaging winds for sure. So that's why we kind of wanted to highlight the fact that yes, there was going to be snow, low visibilities, but this was going to be a region-wide damaging wind event as a result. And unfortunately, we're watching that unfold. Wind gusts right now 60 to 70 miles per hour. So the winds are really starting to increase here across La Junta, north into Lyman. About 80-mile-per-hour gusts right now for Colorado Springs. So we will continue to see the intensity unfold here for the next couple of hours. When did the winds die down? Later tonight.
Nobody is safe from these strong winds, especially here in Pueblo County. They continue to hit us very strong, 70, 75 mile per hour wind gusts. Right now, we've seen power lines, we've seen trees, we've seen a lot of debris through the air. So be careful if you're walking, and especially if you're driving. You never know what's going to pop up with these wind gusts.
We just got an alert from city officials here in Colorado Springs that up to 500 people might be stranded in their cars. And that's just within city limits. That's not including county or Teller County down into Fremont, Canyon City, Pueblo. That is just here in Colorado Springs proper, 500 people. So if you're thinking, wow, where is everyone? Where is the help coming? Well, they will eventually get to you, but unfortunately, you are in there for the long haul. You might be stranded there for hours.
Tom Isley is stuck near Larkspur in the southbound lanes of I-25. How long have you been there, Tom? We understand 2 hours. He called us wondering if we had any information on when he might be moving again.
Yeah, I've been sitting here for about 2 hours now. I can see one vehicle in front of me, and occasionally I can see the other three in front of them. But as it sits right now, it's pretty close to a complete whiteout. I can barely see the black VW in front of me. And we've all been just kind of sitting here trying to figure out what's going on.
Are they looking at being in their cars until realistically 5, 6 o'clock tonight, till conditions really get to that level? Or are we talking 9, 10 o'clock before the plows can get out, before the wreckers can get out and pull them to safety?
I think later this evening they may be able to get out and really start to relieve some of those people that are stuck. But here for the next 4 to 5 consecutive hours, I would say that's going to be very risky, kind of a slippery slope, because we're just now enduring the next 2 to 3 hours our peak winds.
Sam, where are you and how are the road conditions?
Thank you. So right now we're on I-25 southbound, just south of Castle Rock, and we were behind 2 CDOT vehicles that pulled off to the side of the road and that were closing the gates. So I-25 southbound, just south of Castle Rock, is now closed, even though we are still on that stretch. There's still a few vehicles left over that were right behind the CDOT vehicles before they closed the gates, but they have since closed I-25 southbound, and it's pretty obvious to see why. Visibilities are absolutely terrible. You cannot see the road at all. I'm at the Come and Go in Monument, and many of us here were directed to this Come and Go by Emergency Management Services, telling us this is the place to go to stay safe.
Well, we know that some of those pileups we've seen already, especially up in the Greenland Road exit area, where anywhere from probably 25 to 50 cars are just sitting there, you know, bumper to bumper, waiting to get rescued right now. Sitting there, snow's piling up. If you're hearing this on the radio, just keep an eye on that tailpipe. Again, you may not know it's actually backing up into your car because it's such a slow buildup, but keep the windows cracked every now and then. Check your tailpipes and do the best you can to keep yourself safe however you can. You talked about some safety messages a second ago. El Paso County just tweeted out some really good tips for stranded motorists. We know there are a lot of you out there likely listening to KRDO News Radio right this second. Here are a couple of quick tips that may just come in really handy for a lot of you. Run the engine about 10 minutes per hour to keep the vehicle warm. Open a window about an inch while the engine is running. Even if your tailpipe is clear, you can still get that backflow of exhaust just idling there. Also, check your exhaust pipe. We've talked about that. Conserve your cell phone battery for emergency use only. Remember, even if the car's off and you have it plugged in, it's going to drain your battery, so be careful doing that. Call back with an update every hour until help arrives, just to make sure emergency responders know that you're still there. Use whatever you have in your vehicle to keep warm. Hopefully you have some blankets, but if you're a first timer out there, you may not. Be creative in keeping warm. Don't leave your vehicle. Remember, every time you open the door, let some warm air out. So if you don't have to leave your vehicle, don't. And obviously there may be other vehicles around you trying to move. You don't want to get caught in the middle of that. And finally, just stay with your vehicle until help arrives. You don't want to try and walk it. You may think you're half a mile or so from the next gas station, but it may be a lot more. And these conditions, you don't want to be out in the elements any more than you have to.
Frostbite is a real danger as well. Yeah. You know, with cold temperatures like that, you add in the wind, you're looking at temperatures that are very, very cold. Sure. Sadly, another reminder, if you happen to see these emergency workers on the side of the road, you must slow down and move over. Remember that move over law was enacted several years ago. This was after another Colorado State Patrol trooper was killed, Cody Donahue, just south of Castle Rock. Sadly, again, this man died during this storm today. So just another reminder, if you happen to be out, do keep in mind those emergency workers are there for your help. There's nothing that's too important that you can't be late for. You must slow down.
Another reason to stay off the road, because when you get in a crash on the road, somebody has to come out and put their lives on the line. And Corporal Daniel Groves did just that. It really puts everything else in perspective. I mean, you know, crashes, people stuck in cars, while it's dangerous, this is by far the worst thing that's happened today. The loss of life of Corporal Daniel Groves there, hopefully the last one of these first responder deaths we have to report.
Severe wind gusts is over 58 miles per hour. That's when it starts to do damage. So what you need to do, you need to stay inside, stay away from the windows, because wind like that has no problems picking something up and just throwing it through your window. So just stay away from those windows as these strong winds are coming through today.
It's been a while, Dan. Last time we talked to you, you were standing right in front of a tree that was being moved by a front-end loader out of the street. Looks like there may be some more damage behind you here, too.
Yeah, Bart, a lot more damage. Those heavy winds aren't just up in Colorado Springs. They're definitely down here in Pueblo as well, creating some serious damage to some residents here in Pueblo. Check this out right behind me. This tree completely uprooting and just caving in the front portion of this home, the front portion of the roof, its deck. I spoke with people who were actually inside, or one person who was actually inside of the home when this tree completely uprooted and took some of the concrete with it. A woman was inside the kitchen when the tree fell on top of the home. She says when she heard it, it sounded like a bomb or possibly an earthquake.
All right, and we want to remind you, this is a shot of Pueblo here where it's raining, it's windy. They're getting some of the effects of the blizzard here in southern Colorado. Our crews are out and about. We're tracking this blizzard for you. We've got your back. We're the only station still on the air covering this blizzard. We have team coverage and we'll continue that.